Did you know that your body shape has a lot to say about your weight and your health? Roughly, you have the apple shape, the pear shape, the inverted triangle shape, you have the hourglass shape, and you have the rectangle or the ruler shape. In this video, I'll be telling you what each body shape says about your health, and I'll also tell you about some good points about each of the body shapes. If this is something you're interested in, my family, stick around.
Ding dong. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Okay, everyone, let's do this. 3, 2, 1.
Now, who came up with the idea of naming our body shapes after fruits? Can you imagine? But anyway, according to some researchers of Oxford University, our body shape can have a lot to say about our health. So I have taken some notes, and here I am going to bring you some of the information that I have found, because you know that on this family, on this channel, caring is sharing. Okay, so the first body shape that we have spoken about, that I mentioned, is the apple shape. This is where when people have bigger waists relative to their hips, creating a slight apple shape. Women who have this body type are most at risk of health issues generally compared to women with other shapes. This is because abdominal obesity can be very dangerous. People with the apple shape tend to have bigger waist, higher waist to hip and waist to height ratio. Left women 10 to 20% more at risk of a heart attack. So that is the general consensus. After each, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you like a summary of what each means. So what does this mean for the apple shape? In a nutshell, apples carry extra weight around their waist. This is where dangerous type of fat often accumulates. This is called visceral fat, and it penetrates deep into the skin. It builds up around the organs, harming them over time. The result of this fat that is building up around your organs puts people at higher risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers like colon and uterine cancer. But there is an upside to people who actually have the apple shape, and this is the upside. Visceral fat is the easiest type of fat to get rid of with diet and exercise. So apples often lose weight faster than other body shapes. So this is something to bear in mind when we think about the apple shape. Okay, so that was it for the apple shape. The other type of shape that we want to look at is the pear shape. This is another classic shape for women, where the fat mostly sits around the thighs and the bottom. Studies suggest people who are thin but carry extra weight on their hips and thighs have a lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and diabetes. So, in a nutshell, when we talk about the pear shape, this is what it says. The pear shape have a harder time of losing weight. That is because pears store most excess fat in the lower half of the body. This stubborn fat is commonly called passive fat. While it is not as dangerous as visceral fat, which is found in the apple shape, it places extra stress on the legs. This can increase the risk of varicose veins, degenerative knee and leg joint disease. So people with apple shape, the pear shape, have to be mindful that they could develop the joint or bone related diseases. Now there's an upside to having the pear shape. Pear shape are at lower risk of the diseases that apples often face. Okay, so because with the pear, what they're saying is that the fat is on the lower part of the body. Therefore, we know that the most dangerous fat is the one that is found in the abdomen. So that is why they are saying that the pear shape people are at lesser risk of developing the same type of disease that the people with apple shape would develop. The next type of shape that we want to talk about is the inverted triangle. An inverted triangle body type is broad at the shoulders, narrow at the hips. People with this body shape usually have larger breasts. Men and women with smaller body frames are at higher risk of osteoporosis due to having less bone mass to draw on. Osteoporosis is a condition which affects the bones, weakening them over time, meaning they are more likely to fracture. There have been suggested links between the inverted triangle shape and the weakening of bones. So this is something to bear in mind when you have, that inverted triangle. And of course, you can see how that develops, because with the inverted triangle, your top half is considerably larger than your bottom half. So you can see where there is that imbalance. So of course you can see the connection between the degenerated, the bones problem as well as it relates to when it comes on to weight. The next type of body shape that I want to talk about is the ruler, or what you call the rectangular shape. It said that many slender celebrities have this body type. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that all ruler-shaped people are skinny. Listen to that. Anyone who has a fairly straight or column-like figure can be considered a ruler. If you're an overweight ruler person, for example, you are not exempt from a higher risk for heart disease and diabetes. So that is very interesting to know. According to experts at Penn Medicine, it can actually be harder for a ruler-shaped person to even realize that they are overweight, as the weight is evenly distributed, so they never look fat. This can give you the same chance of developing health conditions like diabetes as any other body shape it is explained. The final body shape that we want to talk about is the most desired body shape. A lot of people, find this body shape attractive, and that is the hourglass shape. The hourglass type is where the hips and the bust are wider than the waist. So that is what people desire, usually go after. So let us see if there are any, what I would say, downside to actually having the most desired body shape, which is the hourglass shape. So let us see what it says here. The hourglass shape These people tend to carry extra weight all over. These people tend to carry extra weight all over. That includes visceral fat around the midsection as well. So the hourglass, you know, the top, like the breast part is out, the bottom half as well, wider hips, you tend to have wider hips. But here they are saying, look, you could be carrying that nice hourglass shape and still have abdominal fat. So people who have the hourglass shape, in a nutshell, they are also at risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. So these are the body shapes, and you know what they say about your health. What body shape are you? Have you ever stopped to think? I can assure you that I know that after this video, you are going to start thinking more about what body shape you are, and of course you will be aware of the health risk that is associated with the body shape, be it that later on you're going to have joint problems, be it abdominal, fat problems, heart disease. Just be mindful of them. Okay, my family? And before I go, people, I want you to help me to solve this puzzle. In my household, and I'm going to show you, people are from different parts of the world, put it that way. For me, whenever I take off I do not eat the end of the bread. So the end of the bread, the top end, you know what we call the end of the bread. That is the last part that I always eat. So what I do, I take out the slices, I take out the slice, I put back the top, take out the slice, put back the top. But I am coming under fire, people. Nobody around me agrees with this method. For me, I think that it keeps the bread fresh. But people around me, they have been telling me, no, it doesn't do anything. And as a matter of fact, you keep taking out, you're taking out that top, putting it back, taking out that top, putting it back. My people, I want you to help me to solve it. How do you eat your bread? Do you take off the top? Do you do you put back the top each time you take it off? Or do you just take out the bread, the slices, based on how they are positioned? Meaning you do not return this top part back to the bread. What do you say? Let me know how you do your bread in the comment section of this video. Thank you for watching another video. I hope that you have learned something, my family. And until I upload another video, I say peace.